conversation, come learn with me. TCP Radio Show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show. The cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with CyberSense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The TCP Radio Show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show. Watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show. The cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with CyberSense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The TCP Radio Show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show. Watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show. The cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with CyberSense, it's key. Join the conversation, conversation, come learn with me. The TCP Radio Show, let's go! Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show. Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. TCP Radio Show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP Radio Show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. I am Clifford from the Cyber People. This is our third and final live stream in this training preview series. If you missed the previous sessions, I want to encourage you to go back and watch them after this stream, of course. Our first session, we provided a preview of the cyber incident forensics response training, and in our second we dived into the advanced Windows forensics examiner training. Tonight we wrap up this series by looking at what makes up the mobile device forensics training. All of these trainings are from IASIS, the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists. Simply stated, IASIS is a non-profit voluntary organization wholly dedicated to training, certifying, and providing membership services to computer forensics professionals around the world. This entire series is in preparation for the training and certification for digital forensics at the upcoming 2026 Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit, which we will be a part of. That is, August 2026. Before we dive in and the discussion get on the way, I just want to go over some quick house rules for this stream. Because we're streaming on YouTube tonight, we want to ensure that the session is engaging and valuable and provide value. We have enabled subscriber only chat. Just hit subscribe, and then that would allow you to send in your questions, comments, or queries so we can provide you with more information. This helps cut down on the number of spam and bot and allows us for a more meaningful interaction. You might also notice a slight delay in the chat as well, and that is typically for the same, basically for the same reason. All of these things is what we kind of do to help mitigate from the live stream being spam and for bots to just run all over. Apart from that, we're going to keep things nice and smooth. I think that today's session may be a little bit on the shorter side, but we'll see how we get through. I as the producer, and I'm one of the moderators, and we have a few more moderators in the chat to be able to kind of just bring your question to the forefront or give you answers for anything that you may need in the throughout this session. We're broadcasting this particular stream on 3 different YouTube channels. Right here on the Cyber People, on Digital Technologies and Services YouTube page, and on the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit YouTube page as well. This will be our main hub for this session, but feel free to browse those other channels. There are things there that might that would be of interest for you to check later on. As we continue, just a little bit about the cyber people and tonight's training. So, who are the cyber people? We are a new startup right here on the island of Barbados, and our core focus is on the human, well, like I said, the human element of cybersecurity. So we focus more so on, everything around humans and how we can help to mitigate different types of threats and what's not and incidents from the human side of things. We believe that empowering people with knowledge is key to building a stronger defense against cyber threat, and that that's why we specialize in providing comprehensive cybersecurity awareness training. Tonight, we are promoting a vital course, the ISS, like I said before, Mobile Device Forensics. This intensive training is scheduled to commence, as I mentioned before, August 2026, as part of the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit, and our host will give us more information on that as I introduce him in a little bit. This is an incredible opportunity to gain critical skills in a rapidly evolving field. You can find more information about this specific training and the others that we've mentioned from the link in the description. And I'll probably post some in the chat as well to make it easy for you. Anyone interested in getting more information about this particular training or any of our other training, there's a pre-registration link in the chat. You could utilize that to sign up and show your interest for any of the training that will be provided at the summit. And then when the official registration open, we'll send the relevant information, cost breakdown, and everything is going to come your way. They just register now or pre-register now, so that way you don't forget later on, and once the information becomes available, we'll be able to send it to you. So, introducing our guests, and to help us unpack why this training is so important and to guide us through tonight's discussion, I am absolutely delighted. It's Mr. Neil Hinds. He's a very good friend of ours, a good friend of the cyber people, and of myself. He is the CEO and senior consultant for digital technologies and services. He has been doing a lot of stuff, working on a lot of different initiatives and what's not for us here in the Caribbean. He's very passionate about cybersecurity and being, secure and just being secure. And so I just had to break from script a little bit, just to kind of he's a very incredible gentleman, well versed, well knowledge, very experienced, and stay tuned, sit tight, grab some popcorn, and don't forget to engage and let us have a wonderful time. Mr. Neil Hinds, all yours.
Good evening, all. Blessings to you, the cyber people. I'm very, very grateful to be partnered with you guys. Very, very grateful to have you guys on board and pushing not only cybersecurity for our businesses and entrepreneurs, but for families, for the general population, because this is where cybersecurity starts. It starts from the very general population, from the kid that is now growing up, from the secondary school student who's now going into first form all the way up to upper fifth and going into the workplace. So it's very important that we get cybersecurity disciplines and a good posture to combat these cyber threats that we are continuously having in the Caribbean. So I'm very, very grateful to be on board with cyber people. Tremendous group, startup group, as they said, but they have a lot of experience that they can push out to everyone in the Caribbean. So kudos to them for starting up. Kudos for the continued blessings. And let's continue to support them throughout their venture in this field. So tonight we're talking, as Clifford said, the last of the 3 series of the ISS training, which is coming up in August 2026 for our Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit, which is going to be held in Barbados once again. We had one in January, which was a success. And we are pushing even more by bringing IASIS, the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, to the Caribbean. This group is a nonprofit group, and they have been the tremendous support for law enforcement worldwide. Their courses are always well attended. Their certification is well sought, not only in the US, but in other continents across the world. And to be able to bring them to Barbados, it is a tremendous road and a battle. And to bring them and to have them on board is going to be a phenomenal experience for Barbados and the Caribbean. So I'd ask you to just listen, do your reading, do your due diligence. And when we are able to confirm the hotel and the venue with the cost, we'll be able to give you that information along with the information of the kind of topics that we will be discussing at the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit. It's going to be a 2-day event, yes, for the summit. But what we're doing is, because IASIS is willing to offer 3 of the courses that we are talking about. The first one we spoke about was the cyber incident forensic response, which is needed in the Caribbean. And then the second one we spoke about was the Windows Forensics Examiner, but I think that is going to be the advanced Windows Forensics Examiner for the 2026 that is coming up from IASIS. And then last, what we're going to speak about today is the Mobile Device Examiner. And to get a little bit more about the Mobile Device Examiner course, there are the 6 competency areas that would be addressed in that course. And the first and foremost competency that every single person must have is the evidence handling and identification. Because if you can't handle the evidence properly, identify if it's an iOS device, if it's a Android device, or if it's one of the cheap Chinese devices, you're fail right there. You fail. Because if you can't handle it correctly and you can't identify what device it is, definitely you cannot produce that evidence, or you can't even start to interrogate that specific device in order to get your evidence. So very, very first and foremost core is evidence handling. And when we talk about evidence handling, we're talking about how you actually take that device into your custody. So what you do, you don't go scrolling through the device. You try to put it in airplane mode so that it does not communicate with the network. Because at the end of the day, the bad boys and the criminals, they're going to try to wipe that information off from the device. So you have to know how to properly handle that device and identify it. And then next competency that's going to be covered is in mobile device technology. Mobile device technology, how, what, where, how. What is mobile device technology? It's understanding fundamental differences between a traditional computer forensics and mobile device forensics, because there are 2 different competencies. There are 2 different areas. A computer, yes, it will have programs that have databases, but a mobile device is a database-oriented device. So you have to understand the technology of that. You also have to understand how mobile devices operate. They operate with a SIM card. They operate with eSIMs now, because all these devices, with the evolving technology, they're eSIMs. So you don't have physical SIMs anymore. So you have to understand how you're going to handle the difference between a physical SIM and the eSIM. So those are the type of areas that you're going to be covering in your mobile device technology. And then the examination methodologies is what the next thing that you have to, is another core capability, core competency. And understanding the difference and the various device acquisitions methodologies. They include the advantages, disadvantages, and challenges related to each of them. So when we talk about understanding different device acquisitions, you can acquire a device through a vendor-based tool. You can acquire it through the ADB. You can acquire it through inserting a flash drive with specific software in order to take that third-party information on. So you have to be able to understand how to get these acquisitions from these devices, and understand also the knowledge and the best practices of examining mobile devices. That's another key area when you're looking at that core competency of examination methodologies. And then understanding the difference between the logical file system and the physical abstractions. So those are the areas that we are going to be covering and that you're going to definitely need to understand if you want to be competent in mobile device forensics. So the other area, which is very, very important, is the database architecture. And when we talk about the database architecture, again, mobile devices are all database oriented. So if you understand databases, how databases work, this is going to be the area where you have to know how SQLite is involving in that database architecture, and understanding your WAL, which is write-ahead logging. So when we look at write-ahead logging, which is the fundamental mechanism used to ensure the data integrity and the durability and reliability of the transaction processing, that is the core principle of WAL, and that's to log changes before they're applied to the actual database file. So you have to understand that kind of architecture to be able to properly identify the information that is stored within those databases. And then the other core competency, that we have to look at is the examination of the iOS devices in comparison to the examination of the Android devices. Those are two different database and two different partition schemes that are employed. Yes, back in the days, everybody was on Android, and Android, as we heard, Android was the first architecture to come up for mobile devices. But then iOS, which is Apple, they decided, no, we need to come on top. We need to come aboard. And they bring a better architecture, as they see it, in certain areas. But we have to be able to understand how to look at the difference of the iOS devices and the Android devices. And some of the areas that you're going to be looking at in the training is the current iOS partition schemes and the versions. Because for you to analyze, or for you to first get that physical abstraction, especially on the iOS device, you have to know what is the security architecture. Because you may have to deploy certain debugging, certain exploits in order to get that specific information from that specific iOS device. So, and with the increasing security of that data security, especially from both the iOS and the Android, understanding those security architectures and how you can exploit them is key for you to get that data that is needed for your evidence. Now, again, if you're coming from the corporate environment and as a corporate device, there's certain things and certain exploits that you will not need to run, because given that the devices belongs to technically to the company, those security passwords, etc., are easily and able to be deployed by the company and be given to you as the examiner. So you would not have to run certain exploits in order to get that data. But if you're talking from a law enforcement point of view, and you don't have a warrant, and the end user does not, the owner does not give you permission, then you have to run exploits. So understanding the different architectures, again, will be required. And then also understanding how data is stored in the iOS devices comparison to how the data is stored in the Android devices. You know, how to interpret that data using third-party applications like Magnet Forensics, Axiom, in comparison to Celebrate Forensics, in comparison to Oxygen Forensics. Those three key mobile device software tools, vendor-based tools, are available for you in a law enforcement capacity as well as a corporate capacity. So you have to know, again, how to interpret that third-party applications and those third-party tools in order to look at how do you look at WhatsApp messages, how do you look at Apple messages, how do you look at AirDrop in comparison to Android messaging through WhatsApp or through normal SMS. So these are the kind of things that will be looked at during your course. And then, as you know, for Android, there's the Android Developer Bridge, the ADP, which has the common commands in order for you to run those exploits as well as to gain access to the device. So from the Android in comparison to the iOS, those are the things that you need to look at and be able to distinguish the difference and the versions of both devices and how each of them are the databases are written in order for you to extract that information. So briefly, that is what we're going to be looking at for your mobile device examiner course, but it does not stop there in that 5 days, believe it or not. So those 5 days are broken down into those 6 competency areas. But after that, those 5 days, you are always going to be receiving examinations and other trainings in order for you to pass your certification, because we just don't take you for 5 days, 40 hours, and then send you out to the wall and tell you, okay, you're not ready to take that certification. No. IASIS is built upon making sure that when they give you a course and they give you that information, that they're always behind you following up with more data sets in order for you to do your interrogations of that specific device. And to do that, they give you a computer with the software. So you're going to be given a computer with the software that you're going to be using in class. And some of these software vendors actually give you a whole year subscription free to use with that system. So again, it is not just throwing you to the wolves after 5 days and they'll leave you alone. These instructors are going to be working with you continuously and give you more data sets, give you more guidance, so that when you're competent enough that you take that examination, you're guaranteed to pass. And if you do not pass, I will say that. But I know you will pass. I know you will pass because IASIS is not set up for you to fail. IASIS is set up for you to succeed. Succeed for if you're in law enforcement, succeed for if you're in the corporate environment. And again, if you're interested in this from the corporate point of view, I would have mentioned this before. IASIS is going to do a brief background check. That's just to make sure that you're not one of these criminals that are running around and creating havoc in society. We want to have the best and the best. We want to have the persons who are interested, the persons who are reliable, the persons who are security conscious in this type of training, to receive this training and to push this training out for the betterment of society. So they do a brief background check just to make sure that you say who you are and that you are definitely in this field for success and not for to be on the wrong side of the fence. So that's just a little housekeeping in terms of what IASIS is going to do if you're not law enforcement. But don't be scared. There's nothing too in that, nothing too intriguing. It is just to verify. So don't be scared of your data being used for other means. But generally, that's what the mobile device examiner course is going to look at. And since that this is the last of the 3 series, just let me briefly go back to the core competencies of the other 2 courses. Is this in case that you missed it? And those core competencies for the cyber incident forensic response course is going to look at network fundamentals. It's going to look at the log analysis. It's going to look at remote drive imaging. It's going to look at network assessments. It's going to look at Windows host analysis, the Linux host analysis, the RAM capture and analysis concepts, and malware analysis concepts. Those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 competencies are going to be addressed over 2 weeks. And again, you're getting a laptop, with software and training for 2 weeks with this cyber incident response course. It is so in depth that they have to expand it for 2 weeks. And then what that's going to give you is the ability to understand how an attack is orchestrated, give you the understanding and the ability to locate where that attack have entered the network system, how it has transgressed laterally across that network system, how you're able to capture all of those logs and read those logs in a professional and an efficient manner that you can report as to how in depth that cyber attack occur and how in depth that you have to go in order to retrieve that evidence and how in depth you have to pull down that system, clean it up before you put it back up on the network, as well as reporting. Because especially in the corporate environment, reporting is very, very important. And we have to understand too that technical reporting sometimes is not adhered to or not understand clearly by our management. Excuse me a minute. My apologies. So being able to report in a non-technical way is the fundamental requirement for when you have to speak to management, because you need management on board, especially in a cyber attack incident. You need management on board to be able to not only understand you, but drive resources in order to better enable you to prevent those attacks again from happening. So that's the kind of reporting that you need to understand. And this part of the course is going to enable you to report the findings in a readable and understandable manner for management. And then when we look at the Windows Forensic Examiner, there are 6 competencies. Again, that is a 1-week course. And those 6 competencies are going to be involving the Windows virtualization technology and the inbuilt security mechanism, the Windows partitioning schemes, the Windows file systems. We look at the Windows registry, Windows artifacts, and a live memory acquisition and analysis so that you can understand how Windows operate. Because Windows is, in comparison to Linux, is one of the most widely used softwares for businesses. And with Copilot coming up with Microsoft and the other applications, it is going to be more and more widely used in business environment in comparison to Linux. You're more finding Linux environment in the networking industry where there are a lot of databases and they're doing Linux in the background. But for the general population, in general business, for persons to interact, because Windows is not user-friendly environment, Windows Forensics is required, especially if you're working within the corporate environment. So those areas, those 6 competency areas will be addressing that Windows Forensics Examiner course. And I think it's going to be named for 2026, from my understanding, the Advanced Windows Forensic Examinations examiner course. So those are the 3 courses that we are going to be offering during the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit. There's a lot more information that's going to come out soon in relation to that summit. The hotel that we are looking at, we can't really see yet because we are not in a full agreement with them. And we're still working on that logistics, but guarantee that we are going to be sending out this information soon. Guarantee that this information is going to be viable. Guarantee that you start speaking to your management, especially if you're coming from the other Caribbean regions. Start speaking to them and telling them, listen, we need to go to this summit because IASIS again is coming to Barbados. And that's a tremendous step for the Caribbean region because many people would like to attend this course, their courses in Florida every year around April. They usually have their main event in Orlando, Florida. And it is always packed. It is always full. It is always a wait list. So I guarantee you, bringing this group to Barbados is going to be a game changer for the Caribbean. And I know we are still building. I know we're still very young, and we are still at a stage where we can't fully understand the seriousness of cybersecurity, the seriousness of education. And I'm hoping that this would change in the near future. Yeah. But I want to take this opportunity again to just say a wonderful thank you to the cyber people. Without this group, I don't know, we would still be running behind certain other companies that just looking at the dollar figure. But the cyber people not only look at the dollar figure, they look at the humanity in it. And that's one of the reasons why I love working with them, because digital technology and services, one of our core competence or our core areas that we look at is building our human capital and safeguarding our children future.
Definitely.
So that is us.
Yeah. I have a few questions for you. I want to drop your way. I'm going to try to start it off with some easy questions, but then we'll see. One of the questions I could foresee persons asking is, what kind of prior knowledge or experience would be beneficial for someone considering the IASIS MDF training, and is it suitable for beginners or does it build on existing forensic skills?
It's suitable for beginners. And when I say it's suitable for beginners, because this one is not the advanced mobile device examiner. This one is going to be very basic. And that is way to start off with the evidence handling and identification. Because if you're already advanced, you already know how to handle that specific device and how to identify it. Then you really belong to the advanced group. But because they're starting off with that evidence handling, it's going to be very basic. Start out for persons who do not know the difference between an iOS and an Android device, or they may know, but they may not know the full architecture of both devices. This course will be for them because then they get a better understanding.
Okay. So I'm thinking this fits well within someone that's new to the cybersecurity field and maybe looking to try and figure out themselves on where they want to go, and maybe they have some experience or maybe a liking towards mobile devices. And when we say mobile devices, we mean cell phones. I'm assuming tablets as well. Any other type of devices? Yes. would be in the mix.
Any devices that will communicate. So if you have, if you got the Android tablet that communicates as well, then yes, the iPad is all covered within this mobile device technology.
Okay, cool. From your perspective, what are the biggest challenges facing mobile device forensics examiners today, especially within the Caribbean?
The security architecture, because each of these devices, due to the fact that they know that they're being exploited and they know of the loopholes in certain aspects of the architecture, they're always providing updates and increasing that security level. So the different versions of iOS and Android. Up to this morning, I woke up and my Android device just told me I need to update my software, and they're forcing you to update the software because of the exploits that are being run and because of the hacks that are being deployed daily by the threat actors across the world. That they are increasingly their security architecture. So that is going to be your first challenge is debugging and exploiting the security architecture of the device.
Mhm.
You may have some persons that do not update their device, like in some iOS devices, that you be able to get past certain architectures, certain security architectures.
Okay.
But in most cases, that is going to be your most challenge, your security, getting past that security architecture.
I'm going to throw another question at you. I tend to throw this question to a lot of cybersecurity professionals, excuse me, that I've spoken, that I usually have conversation with, and that's the on the topic of AI, because everywhere you go these days, you hear of AI. The threat actors are using it a lot. I think it's making their job a lot easier, and the defenders are using it as well and trying to figure out. I'm thinking what I've heard from most of my conversations, or what I've heard probably on a podcast or a video or something like that, the threat actors are like leaping generously towards using AI and are using AI a lot, whereas defenders now and implementers are a bit hesitant. Does this course like has any relevance in terms of AI and what to related to it? Like, you got smartphones now. For example, a lot of the AI programs that we use is an app. Some phones are coming down with it as ingrained from the microprocessor level and stuff like that. And I'm assuming that I don't know if it's going to pose a challenge or not when it comes to mobile device forensics.
It's definitely going to pose a challenge. Currently, I do not see that as one of the areas. Again, ISIS is sitting down this year
Mm-hmm.
to restructure most of their courses. With the development of AI across the spectrum, I am sure that they're going to be looking at how AI can be incorporated, AI investigation can be incorporated in either the mobile device examiner course, or they may even bring a course specifically designed for AI technology, because it's something that is really has expanded, is exploded, and is needed both on the offensive and the
Mm-hmm.
defensive spectrum. So that is something that I'm sure is going to be addressed. It is not being addressed currently, but again, they're sitting down this year to look at the expanded technology and how they can incorporate that expanded technology into their courses.
Okay, sounds good. Because I'm hearing it left, right, and center, how different persons, different organizations are incorporating SIM tools, some instant response tools, and different stuff. AI is kind of supposed to weed out the data that's irrelevant and just like push forward the ones that they claim is relevant and stuff like that. So just and most courses that you hear of now or is being offered have some type of element of AI. So it's good to know that the organization is see the need or is working on a plan to revamp, I would say, or improve their course to include some of these AI stuff. As always, I like
Definitely,
to pick,
definitely.
yeah. I'm thinking of those individuals who are on the fence about investing in this course or any of our courses. What's your ultimate advice or message about the value and impact of becoming, a certified, whether it's mobile device forensics examiner or a advanced Windows forensics examiner or even the incident response? Like from this to know from your years of experience and your journey into cybersecurity and digital forensics, what advice would you give someone who's on the fence and trying to determine, their next move, or if this is something that they can do now, or if they should put it off, or whatever the case may be?
I'm going to say this to them. You have to know where your field, where your passion is. This field is about passion. This field is about understanding your passion. If you are passionate about finding the bad guys, if you're passionate about creating policies in order to help those who are using the tools to find the bad actors, or if you're passionate about creating educational formats or education material, then you can go the route of the policies and and learning about cybersecurity methodologies, etc. But if you're passionate about investigating, if you're passionate about finding bad actors, if you're passionate in the specific area either of computers or mobile devices or any other devices, IoT devices, etc., then you try to track your course along that lane of your passion, because passion is going to your driving factor. I know right now it's going to be hard because we have a lot of students, we have a lot of people that were given courses in the basic cybersecurity and looking at log analysis and that kind of stuff. And they're kind of like, okay, where do I go from here? And I get that. Do your research. Look at the different core competencies and the what each course entails. And then ask yourself, how am I going to use this to the benefit of me personally? And then how am I going to use it for the benefit of a company, job-wise? But first, look at how it's going to benefit you personally. How is it going to benefit your passion? If you identify your passion and how it's going to benefit you, then you can decide, okay, this is how this is going to help my my job application
Yeah, my journey,
and your
my
journey into
career,
this
yeah.
field.
Yeah, career advancements and stuff like
Because
that.
if you if you don't, if you can't identify that passion, for me, my passion, because it came out in law enforcement and because that I was thrown in to a case of child pornography back in early 2000, when there was no digital forensic capabilities in the Caribbean, when there was no cyber laws, etc. That built my passion into finding who, when, how, where that incident occurred with those three young ladies. And based off of that passion and based off of that interrogation that I had to do, I was able then to say, okay, this is my field. This is where I want to be. And then I expanded into being the consultant, into pushing it up more, into giving back to what was given to me by a lot of people. So I would say find your passion first. Find where you want to fit. it is of there are different flavors in cybersecurity and digital forensics. So you need to know it is a hard task, yes, but sit down, pray, ask for guidance. At the end of the day, God has a plan for you. So ask the Almighty what is His plan.
Yeah, well said. As we wrap things up now, I just want, can you tell us a little bit about digital technologies and services, and then after that we'll just wrap things up. But yeah, just tell us a little bit more about what digital technologies and services do, and some of the area of focus for them, or for this.
So our area is digital technologies and services is a company that is driven to provide the Caribbean region, especially with a reasonable cost to provide those services and to provide that equipment, to provide mentorship, not only for law enforcement, but also for the private sector. So we're a one-stop shop because we are the resellers and the authorized resellers and trainers for magnet forensics, oxygen forensics. We're also the authorized resellers for cubic motion. We're also the authorized resellers and trainers for Detail Global. We are also in partnership with Cybervance. And then we are also building more partnerships with some other software tools, mostly for law enforcement. But we're the people that you come to, and we sit down and we come up with a plan for you. We do assessments. So we go out and we look at your infrastructure and we do a complete assessment for you. And then based off of that assessment, we provide you with a plan to be successful, a plan to have a succession plan in place, a plan to ensure that you are future proofing your entire organization, be it law enforcement or be it corporate, in order to combat cyber crimes. Because if we don't help you combat cyber crimes, you're going to be looking at spending more money in insurance, spending more money, and the end result is going to be either A, you're going to lose customers or clients, or B, the customers or clients are going to be paying more money for your services or products. Excuse me. So that is where that's our goal. Our goal is to make you self-efficient. And especially with the evolvement technology and the threats that are occurring, if we can make you self-efficient, we have achieved our goal. And again, we're not in it just for the dollars. We're in it to help protect the future of our children. And people need to understand it, because if we don't step up now, we have a generation that is going to come out that is going to be targeted and targeted to the point where we are going to be losing more value than anything else. So that is where we want to end, is making sure that the future of our children, of our society, is protected. We were given a platform, we were given a basement, and we were given some walls. We gotta start building and strengthening those walls and put on that roof.
Okay.
For the next generation.
So how would an individual or a company, or how would someone get in contact with digital technologies and services?
We have our website, www.digitaltechservices.net. You can find us there. You can call us at 407-984-1020. You can email us at sales@digitaltechservices.net. You can email me directly, neil@digitaltechservices.net. Or you can find us on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel. We also have connections with the cyber people, of course. And we're soon to launch the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit website, where all of the summit information will be channeled to. We're still working with our website developer and getting that up and running, as well as all the forms that is needed for registration for not only the summit, but for the IASIS courses. But that's where you find us. Find us on the World Wide Web, or find us on LinkedIn. We are also on LinkedIn. I can't remember the LinkedIn
just
profile
search up
right
digital
now.
technologies and services. You should be able to.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it.
Okay.
But that's who we are. I mean, we're just trying to help every nation. I have visited countries like Bangladesh. I worked in Bangladesh for 9 months, working with 4 of the cyber units in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, Chittagong, Silat, and Rajshahi. I was in North Macedonia. I was in Brazil. I was in India. I was in Pakistan. I was like traveling tremendously under the program that we have a contract with, providing instructional and consultancy work with all those places and building their capacity. And we're trying very, very hard to bring the Caribbean to the fore, because when it was back in an organization prior to moving, we built several capabilities within the Caribbean region, and it's kind of sad that it's kind of dwindling. And we're hoping to bring back the Caribbean to the forefront, so that we can combat these cyber threats within the Caribbean region.
Sounds great. A lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that will be able to benefit anyone in any organization that is, looking to get those services within your umbrella. We'll wrap things up here for this particular series. We just wanted to take some time out and be able to, have an expert come in and explain what is going to be what makes up these different courses, who they're targeted for, how to get on board, how to get involved, and pretty much just break it down. Because usually you see these things on website, a lot of information, but it's not really explained in a way that helps you to understand or to determine if this is something for you. So for that, I want to thank Neil Hinds for coming on board with the Cyber People and providing this opportunity to break down these courses that will be offered at the upcoming, or the 2026 Caribbean Digital Technologies and Cybersecurity Summit, slated for August. With that, to find out more information about the Cyber People, you can visit us at thecyberpeople.com. We're also on Instagram. Our handle is the Cyber People, Facebook, also on LinkedIn, and of course right here on YouTube, our handle is the Cyber People. And we have we also have a podcast, the Cyber Scene podcast, that's over on Spotify, and is also redistributed on other popular podcast platforms. We have a lot in store and a lot coming on stream shortly. As Neil and as I pointed out earlier, we are human centric or human focused. We want to be able to like we would say, nip the incidents in the bud before it happens. We want to be able to train. Our first line of defense should always be the people, and once they're well equipped and well trained, yes, you need technology, yes, you need services, yes, you need systems, yes, you need to put your safeguards and all these different things in place. But once we train our people on the best practices and what to avoid and what to look for, it makes us, the technical guys, our job a little bit easier, and it also it means that the organization as a whole is a lot more secure. Any last words before we wrap up, or you're good?
Just like to say thank you once again. Join us in advancing the global response with cyber and digital forensic solutions, services, and training. Join us, come with us. Let us try to build our human capacity and be proactive. Like what Clifford just said, we're human centric as well, and building that capacity in the forefront and in the front will help decrease some of these attacks and help decrease the possibility of our children's future being disrupted with more cyber incidences.
And with that, I want to thank you once again for your time. And until next time, please stay safe.
Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with CyberSense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP radio show. Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with CyberSense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know.